Education from Madurai Kamaraj University. He has completed his doctorate degree in MS University. He has qualified in native education. His area of expertise are educational psychology, ICT in education, statistics in research, innovation in teaching learning. Sir, we are extremely very happy for your gracious presence and on behalf of our organizing team and participants. Welcome you, sir.
Very thankful to the administrator of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Vice Chancellor, Registrar, and the program convener, as well as Professor V. Balakrishnan, program organizer, Dr. Rajeshwari. So I'm very thankful to you all, ma'am. And I feel that it is a good opportunity to me to have an interaction with the people, variety of people across the state or across the country. Really, I'm very thankful to the Tamil Nadu Teachers Educator University. And this session, since we are getting somewhat delay, we will straightly go to the business. And our focus is on writing effective project proposals via a Google Meet. Okay, so this is, I think you well aware of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University. So now they are taking a good initiative, like they are conducting so many webinars or Google Meets or through Zoom. They are conducting n number of programs. So really, it is a good, a healthy atmosphere towards technology in the teacher education field. So at the outset, I'm very thankful to the people from Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University. And so this session, we are focusing on what is the proposal and how a proposal should be there, and different structure of proposals. So there are quite a number of structures are there, but we are not going to all the structures. We are going to focus on a few or only one structure. We are going to take only one structure, and we are going to explain the particular structure. So before getting into that, so what is proposal? That is important. Okay. So by knowing what is proposal only, then we can get into the project proposal. So it is a request for the financial assistant to implement a project. Okay. So it outlines the plan of implementation of the project. So proposal only provides the outline and how we are going to implement and what is the procedures, what this and that. This everything will be in a brief manner. We are giving in a proposal, and it provides the intention of the project. So what is the intention of the project? That is much more important in proposal. So it provides the intention of the project also, and it is a document which you present to potential funding agencies or sponsors or clients to receive funding or get your project approved. So it is a detailed description of the series of activities aimed at solving a certain problem. That is the thing. And a good research proposal should give both an overview of the project and also a well-informed discussion of the nuts and bolts of the problem that we are in the research area. So this is about what is proposal, and this is the life cycle of the project, research project. So with the first will be the initiation phase and the planning phase and execution phase and the project closure. So these are all the four cycle. So first in the initiation phase, we have to define the project, and we have to the constraints and problem statements will be there. And in planning, so detailed planning, estimation, scheduling will be there. And in execution, we have to form the project team, acquisition, development and management. This will goes on, and closure, where there will be a monitoring, controlling, so review, that things will be there. This is a project cycle. And a proposal should provide a logical presentation of a research idea. So logical means from this to that. So that should be a logical presentation of a research idea, and it should illustrate the significance of the particular idea, and it show the idea's relationship to past actions, and articulate the activities for the proposed project. So these are all the things, how a proposal should be. Since this is the presentation, so I'll transfer the presentation to your mail IDs. No problem, it will be available with you. And the project should be ethical. That is also important. It should be a ethical one. The project should be a ethical one. Be ethical. And these are all the two elements of designing a project. One is the planning, project planning, and it's the proposal writing. So we are going to focus on proposal writing. So in the project planning, formulation of project elements will be there, and in proposal writing, so converting the plan into project document. So that is in proposal writing. So finding the funding resource, that is much more important, because nowadays funding agencies are very limited, and due to some problem now it is very limited thing. So which donor or which funding agency or which sponsor as a target compatible with our project. So that is much thing. So funding agency we can discuss later. But this is a thing which funding agency has a compatibility with our project. Like it may be NCERT or UGC or ICSSR, ICHR, ICPR. So maybe like Azim Premji Foundation, like private organization or private funding agencies are there to fund for innovative projects. Okay, SSRC there, New India Foundation says. So these are all the very few funding agencies which is related to education or social science. Maybe Indian Council for Social Science Research, Indian Council for historical research, political research. So it's going on like funding agencies. So after finding the funding agencies, we have to find out the preferences of the funding agency. What is the main area of the funding agency? If it is a UGC, they focus on like policy designing, such things. And if you focus on ICHR, that is Indian Council for Historical Research, they'll focus on historical surveys and historical studies like that. So before fitting to the project, we have to find out the preferences of the particular funding agency. What are the preferences? Whether sometimes they may focus on teaching competency of school teachers, or they may focus on ICT competency of research scholars. They may focus on institutional strengthening, sometimes mental health, sometimes school dropouts, sometimes street children. Sometimes some funding agencies are focusing on juveniles, dropouts, street children, juveniles. So these are all the things. So before getting into that, we have to find out the preferences of the funding agencies, and how does each funding agency evaluate project proposals. That is also important. And then is there any evaluation grid like that? So these are all the things we have to find out whether we are fitting into that or not. So is there any evaluation grid like that? And getting ready to start a project proposals or a vision. So the vision of the funding agency as well as the project coordinator, that vision should get into converted as a proposal. Okay, so decide what the problem is and develop a rough idea, that is vision, of how this could be solved. So we have to work with a vision, then only our proposal will be in a good form. And funding option. So identify potential funding option. This is another thing. And build a project proposal team, because the teamwork plays a vital role here. Because see, we are not superhuman being. We may not familiar with all the technical aspects or all the aspects. So that in that situation, teamwork plays a great role in project proposal as well as a project successful completion of the project. So every human being or every individual is unique. He may have, for example, I may familiar in statistics. Some other people may familiar in philosophical things. Some other people may some other person may familiar in maybe technological aspects. So if we work together, the final project will be a successful one. And hold some meetings among the team members, on the project team members. We should have some meetings. Then only this meetings will create many strategies, many new strategies. Then it will be good. So this is all the things, and these are all the structure of a proposal. So what should be in the first, and what should be in the second, and what should be in the last. So there are a number of structures. So here in the structure one, first we will be discussing about executive summary, and then organization description, project background, problem statement, goals and objectives, beneficiaries, proposed methodology, budget, monitoring and evaluation, sustainability, annexes. So these are all the documents or sections of our proposal. And this is another structure 2, table of content, title, aims and objective, introduction to the research topic, literature review, research. It depends upon the requirement of the funding agency. It depends upon the policy decision or structure of the funding agency. We have to adopt accordingly. So this is structure 2. So research design, ethical consideration, conclusion and recommendation, bibliography. This is one another design of proposal. This is another third one. This is introduction, background of the study. So methodology, objectives, methodology, year-wise plan of work, financial assistance, certain certificates from the competent authority, declaration. This is one thing. And another thing, title of proposed project, domain, subdomain, maybe duration of the project, abstract, interview. Like the research gap. Is there any research gap? Innovation or innovativeness in the proposed project. What are the expected outputs? The relevance of the study, budget proposed. This is another model. This is the fifth model is like front page, project title, abstract or summary, context, justification, target group. This is another model. And this is sixth model is introduction and conceptual framework, review, methodology, like our dissertation things. So data analysis, findings, interpretation and suggestions. So this is another model. But our focus is going on the first model, where our focus will be on this model: executive summary, organizational description, project background, like this. So in the executive summary, this is the thing. It is important because the executive summary part is much more important because it is the first part of our proposal. Normally, it may be the only part sometimes read out by the funding agency or the donor. So that this for this part we have to give more and more focus for executive summary, because this will this can alone decide our project can be approved or not approved. Okay, so it can be used by the funding agency to communicate with others about the particular project. So these are all the need of why this executive summary is important. And the content should be these kind of things. What do you propose to do? Okay, and where and why and for whom you are doing this project, why you are doing this process, and where you are doing. And if there is any collaborating team with whom you are going to collaborate for a betterment of the project. So these things, with whom, for how long you are going to execute this project. So these things should be in the executive summary part. So in that executive summary part, we can do like this executive summary should be written in at the last, because even in organization, project methods, statistical methods, we may have refinements. So that refinements should be accommodated, should be updated with the executive summary. So that's why we are telling that this executive summary should be written in the last. And do it carefully, because I already told that this will be the only part sometimes can be read out by the sponsors or funding agencies. So that we have to do it carefully. And it should be the short one. No need of wala. That lengthening is not a thing. So we have to short and to the point. That is important. So keep it short. And don'ts, in the don'ts area, the common doing cut and paste. So nowadays we are very familiar with Control C, Control X, and Control V. So these are all the key points in working with computer shortcut keys. These are all the main keys nowadays. Copy, paste. These are things. This should not be done in executive summary. This should be our own words, creative words. Terminology should be new. It should not be an old one. So like that, that is a thing. And in the next part, organizational descriptions, here we have to brief about why it is important. So to establish credibility and image of a well-managed organization that meets critical needs in its area of work. So we have to establish that we are eligible, we are capable of doing this, and we have done this much of research in a particular area, in variety of area. That kind of thing should be established in this area of organizational description. Okay, it should not be too long as like executive summary. Executive summary also should not be too long. It should be short. Like that, this organizational description also should not be too long. And if you are approaching a new donor or funding agency, we can attach brochure also. We can attach brochure or annual report, whatever maybe we can write. And here in this organizational description area, we have to focus on these things. Who are you? Okay, I'm so and so. I have this much of background, like some philosophy of the institution, the philosophical foundation, philosophical background of the institution where we are working. So that thing, and the history of the institute, and expertise in addressing the problem or need. So we may have expertise. So for example, in our university, 2 years before, we have adopted around 400 villages for the development, especially for the development of greenery. So we have planted a lot of trees, samplings in the villages. Every department, we adopted a particular village, and in Saturday, Sundays, we will be in the village. We will work for the greenery development of the particular village. So this is our expertise in addressing the problem, like village-based or rural development-based things. So this kind of expertise can be established in the organizational description. And organizational structure also, we have a good structure of institution like that. And support. So what are the major supports? What are the major sources available in our institution can be explained in this organizational description, and the affiliation to whom, and accreditations and the linkages. If it is NAAC score, if it has A+ or A, whatever may be the thing, we can give in a short manner in the organization description. Okay, this is the thing. And regarding the project background, so this will be the content. So who took the initiative? So in this project, and does the project fit into an existing development plan of the or a program, or does the project fit into the objectives of a particular funding agency? For example, if you are applying for ICSSR, their objective may be a policy making of rural development. So in what way this is relevant to this policy making? So is this the first phase of the project, or it is a continuation of a already taken project? Like that, we can give a project background. If it is a continuing phase, what have been done and what have been the main result of the first phase or previous phase, that can be explained in project background. And what studies have been done to prepare the project, and who else operates in this field. So these are all the things we have to focus on the project background area. And this will be the objective, is to prove that the main objective of project background area is to prove that the project arises from the beneficiaries and the local partners. And you know the local context very well. You have the experience needed to run the project successfully. These are the things to be fed. We have the experience, and we have the well-equipped support infrastructure. These things should be proved by in this project background area, and you have been successful before. So that is before that, the last year or the previous years, we have a successful stories in this area. Like that, we have to prove in the project background section. And the problem statement area. So why it is important? So unless the funding agencies are convinced, they may not provide fund to our research. Okay, they may not agree to sponsor the fund. So that this is problem statement is important. So it is a good problem should concern people. These things will be the ultimate objective. Like that, see, in our teaching field, we are saying that our teaching learning objective of teaching learning is the main objective of teaching learning is to equip the students for the needs of the society. Okay, that's the thing. Like that, a good problem should concern the people and should be concentrated and demonstrated, and the problem should be a solvable. We should not take unsolvable problems. That problem should be a solvable, and our problem should come from demand. So demand based. So if there is a demand, then it will be better, and it should be an emergency or priority. Now every funding agency is giving some funds on COVID-19. So this is emergency or priority research. Even mathematical peoples are doing how the graph theory is implemented in COVID-19 spread out. So they are doing. One of our colleague is doing like that. So this is the thing. These are the things should be focused on problem statement, and content should be these things. We have to describe the scope and size of the problem, and what are the immediate causes for the particular problem, and what are the underlying causes, and what are the effects, and how does it affect the people. This problem affect how the particular problem affect the people. So these things should be narrated in the problem statement area, and how does it have to be addressed. The particular problem have to be addressed. So these things should be explained in the problem statement area. Why now and not later? Why we have to do the particular? Why we have to do some project on this particular problem? Why not later? So what is the urgency? What is the need of the hour? So we have to prove that this problem solving or this kind of project is a need of the hour. That is the important thing. That is problem statement. And why? See, these are all the common sources of research problems. Maybe a personal experience or interest of the researchers, various theories in discipline of the researcher. Maybe in English we may face so many problems in day-to-day teaching learning process. So that kind of problems can be taken for a project. Maybe from related literature also we can find out some area, and reproduction of past research studies. In our previous study we may find some difficulty, and we may have a new insight that if the research is in that area, it will be better, like we might have felt. So that kind of thing based on the domains of a sponsor, that is also important. Domains of the sponsor or the domains of the funding agencies. So we have to fit in the domains of the funding agencies. That is also important. So this is the how a research problem should be. A title, ABCs of research. So there should be accuracy, should be clear. Even the title, it should be a very catchy one. Then only it will attract the people. So accuracy should be clear and it should be meaningful. Brevity, it means that it should be brief, not a large, a lengthy title should not be there. It should be a brief, that is brevity, and also it should be clearly point out. Okay, it should be a small, at the same time it should be clear, it should be meaningful. So like that, say nowadays we are taking that a study on. So we people are we don't like a study on in the title, that the term a study on, we are not in favor for that, and we are not for that. And in the end of the things, with reference to some Madurai district, some Deni district, these are the things should be in the limitations or delimitations or that area. Okay, so that is the thing. It should not be, the title should be a brief one and meaningful and catchy one. At the same time, you should explain the thing what your objective. So that is important. Okay, so this is the ABC of a research problem, or especially title. But in the goal and objectives area, so this is the content. So we can separate into three things. One is overall objectives. That may be like aims and objectives. Overall objective. So describe the long-term goals of your project, will contribute to the society or to the people or to the target group. And in specific objectives, we have to describe the objective of our project in response to the core problem. And expected results describes the outputs or outcomes, the concrete results of your project. So these things should be in the expected results. And in the goals and objectives, this is because our objectives should be very smart. Okay, then only our proposal will be a smart one. So after the executive summary, most of the funding agencies will look into the objectives, because based on the objectives we will frame the hypothesis. But they'll look into, after the executive summary, they'll look into the objectives. Okay, it should be specific, it should be measurable, and it should be acceptable, and it should be relevant. Specific in the sense they must meet the needs of the problem. So needs identified, needs of the society, like that. And measurable means they should be measured by concrete indicators. Okay, then only we can evaluate them, and we can come to the conclusion, so that thing can be possible. So our objective should be a measurable, and also it should be acceptable for all the investigators. Maybe some co-investigators may be there, some experts may be there, so it should be acceptable for all the team members. That is a group work. So if it is acceptable, only the group will the teamwork will work. Otherwise, if it is not acceptable by anyone, the teamwork will not work in that thing. So that is the thing. It should be acceptable, and it should be relevant. They must be adequate to the project socio-cultural environment, and timely. It must be reached at that particular project must be or should be completed within the time frame. If it is the project time is 2 years, it should be completed within 2 years. If it is the particular project duration is 3 months, the objectives should be completed accordingly to complete within 3 months. That is a time thing. So these are all the 5 things should be kept in mind while we are framing objectives. Okay, and these are all the beneficiaries. Who are the beneficiaries? Clearly identify direct and indirect beneficiary of a particular project. So direct support to target group, maybe special children may be the target group, or street children may be the target group, or higher education students may be the target group, or teaching community may be the target group. So what is for all the beneficiaries? And sometimes there may be indirect beneficiary also, sir. So how many will benefit due to this project, and how many where it will be the beneficiaries? What are the characteristics of beneficiaries, and specify how and what stage they will be involved in the project. So these are all the things should be focused on the part of beneficiaries. And a proposed methodology part, the content should be research design and with rationale. Why I have selected this particular research design for the particular project. So this is important. And the sampling technique. So population and sampling should be cleared, defined. We have to define clearly. So this is the population, and this is the sample. So from the population to sample, so I have chosen this sampling method. Maybe it may be a random sampling, or stratified random sampling, or quota sampling, or it may be whatever may be the sampling. Maybe judgment sampling, okay, or it may be a maybe probability sampling, or non-probability sampling. Whatever may be that sampling technique should be clearly mentioned in this methodology portion. And if there is any tools you are going to develop, or if you are going to use the already standardized tool, you can mention here in proposed methodology part. And in statistical technique, so what are the statistical technique you are going to employ? See, we most of the people do not know what kind of statistics should be used, what kind of problem, or what kind of data. See, last year I received one dissertation in PhD thesis for evaluation. That is the main thing, where they gone through a correlation between the score attained by the male students in science subject and with the score attained by other students. Okay, see, this is the thing. They are comparing, say, correlating the scores of male students with female students. How it is rational, how it is correct. Technically, it is too wrong. It is not good. It is wrong. Then I told the concerned mentor, so this is not wrong. This is not good, sir. So this is the thing. This is logically it is wrong, or statistically it is not wrong. So we cannot compare. Like we cannot correlate that the fever level of my own and the tablet or medication taken by my wife. Okay, we cannot correlate. In தமிழ்ல சொல்லணும் அப்படின்னா, என்னுடைய காய்ச்சலுடைய லெவலுக்கும் என் ஒய்ஃப் எடுக்கிற டேப்லெட்டுக்கும் மெடிக்கேஷனுக்கும் நான் கார்லேட் பண்ண முடியாது. அது லாஜிக்கலி இட் இஸ் நாட் குட். So that is the thing. So when we are using the statistical techniques, we have to rational thinking should be there. Like in most of the theses I used to go through, there will be chi-square for some other ordinal data. Okay, normally that chi-square should not be done for ordinal data. It should be done for the nominal data only. But people are doing chi-square for ordinal data. This is the thing, because if I question them, what is their answer is, sir, I went to this software, like some software they are telling, so I put chi-square, it gave the chi values. See, instead of going for software, we have to think. Softwares are just like I may quote that example, nice example, like a weight machine which is in the railway station. We are very familiar. If you put a 1 rupee coin, it will give you the weight as a slip, and it will tell you, it will give you some horoscope also. So you may today you may interact with the nice gentlemen like that. It is true. And sometimes it may give you a horoscope like today you go and enjoy the environment. You'll feel happy. But that machine doesn't know the present COVID-19 situation. Okay, without knowing that COVID-19, it will tell you that you can enjoy the environment. You can go to railway station, or you can go to bus station. You can go for a shopping, like that. It will give you the horoscope. Okay, so the horoscope giving machine is just like a statistical software. This is the blindness of the software. Whatever you are asking, if you just imagine that if you put a bundle of papers on a weighing machine, it will give you a horoscope. Like if you give a bundle of papers on the weighing machine, and if you put 1 rupees, it will give you the weight as well as a horoscope. Like today you may meet a nice personality, like that. It will give you a horoscope, which is not possible by a bundle of paper. So that is the role of softwares. We, the researchers, should decide what kind of statistics should be adapted for what kind of problem and what kind of data. That is much more important. And project implementation structure, and maybe in the form of chart we can provide. So this is the structure of an implementation of a project, like, and activities like what will be done in the thing, and how, by whom, where, by when. So these are all the things can be provided in the part of proposed methodology. And in the proposed methodology also, this is an example. If it is a training, okay, if it is a training, how many persons are going to participate, for how long, and when it will start, and where it happens, and with methodology will be used, whether it will be training will be given through seminar, or in-house on a Google Meet, or a Zoom Meet, or Cisco WebEx, or BlueJeans, or see, these are all the things should be proposed in methodology part. And why is the training necessary? That also we can propose in methodology area. And which new skills will be the trainee acquire, will received by the trainees. These are all the new skills after the project. These are all the new skills will be acquired by the trainees. So these are all the thing. And regarding the budget area, this is the thing. So financial assistance required, and budget explanation and justification as per the funding agency's requirement. And we may provide item-wise estimated experimenters, sometimes year-wise estimated experimenters. And if there is any overhead charges to the institution, we have to provide that also, like that. This is the proposed model of UGC MRP, I think. So this kind of amount we are going to give for project fellow for this month, per month this month. So totally, this is the thing, 6 lakhs. And hiring services, field work and travel, TADA, books, journals, reference materials, equipments, like some equipment. In the equipment area, we may have purchased some software also. For example, last year, one of my colleague and one of my friend and myself, we had a joint proposal approval. So there we proposed to purchase a SPSS software for 90,000 or 1,02,000, like that. So these are all the things we have to give in a table format. It will be contingencies if there is anything, and overhead charges. So these are all the budget. And sometimes we can put it in a year wise. Sometimes they may require year wise budget. So first year, these are all the things, and second year and third year, if it is a 3-year project, we can give like this: project fellow, equipment, overhead charges, so books, journals, contingencies. So we can give like this. And in the area of monitoring and evaluation, so why it is important? So because monitoring is important, because to access whether your project activities are on the track. Okay, so now and then, whether it may be formative or summative. Formative is most needed in projects. Okay, then only the summative evaluation will be nice. So evaluation, this is monitoring to access whether your project activities are on the track. And in evaluation, to assess whether your project is effective, efficient, has an impact, is relevant and sustainable. So these are all the evaluation part. And the particular monitoring and evaluation part, the content should be what will be monitored and why. That should be mentioned. What will be monitored and why it should be monitored. Such kind of things should be mentioned in this area, and by whom it is going to be monitored and it is going to be evaluated. How often it is maybe every 1 week or every 2 weeks or every month, or sometimes every 15 hours, like that it goes. How often it is going to be monitored, and it depends upon the project what we are proposing. Okay, this may not be applicable for all kind of things, but it can be applicable some kind of projects. Okay, using which tool and which method we are going to assess, maybe whether it may be online evaluation or offline evaluation, or these are all the things should be the content of the monitoring and evaluation area. And in that this kind of year plan we can have. So 1 to 6 months, this will be our nature of work, where evaluation will happen, and 7 to 12 months, and 13 to 18 months, 19 to 24 months, 25 to 30 months, 31 to 30. So this is an example how we can monitor and evaluate our project. So this is the thing. And regarding the sustainability, because sustainability is important, because in this context, content should be we are sustainable, so we are capable of doing this kind of project. So that kind of thing should be established while we are preparing the proposal. So then only the donor or the funding agency will agree for our project. Okay, so in that case we have to institutional sustainability, and we have the technical infrastructure, technical sustainability. So these kind of things should be focused. And socio-cultural sustainability, financial sustainability, these are all the contents to be covered in this sustainability area. Because why it is important? So because the funding agencies want to be sure that their investment will not be lost at the end of the project, and that you are already planning the phasing out of the project. So that is the thing. The funding agency should have a confidence of that this particular institution having all the credentials to provide or to sanction the project. That opinion should come with the funding agency people, or sometimes among the people who are evaluating our project, that members should have a opinion. So for that purpose, this thing should be important. And in annexes area, we can give these things. Glossaries can be given, maps can be given, and some statistics or previous statistics, and some policy documents, financial statements, major funding agencies, list of major funding agencies. So these kind of things can be like annual reports, previous annual reports can be submitted, brochures, previous evaluation reports. So these kind of things can be submitted in the annexes area. And these are all the guidelines for effective proposal. We have to follow a logical thread. Okay, so this is the background, this is the problem, this is a solution, this is the sustainability of our end. So this is the logical thread. So we have to follow this logical thread, and we ensure match up between problem and outcomes, outcomes and means and problems. So this is a internal coherency should be there. So problems, outcomes, means within among these things, that should be a coherence. And for effective proposal, this is a logic checklist. We should not leave a problem unsolved. So whatever the problem we have taken, it should be solved. And don't identify outcomes that do not correspond to a problem. Okay, and don't identify outcomes for which you don't have a solution. If you have a solution, we have to identify the problem. Otherwise, we should not take the problem. And don't propose activities that are not related to problems and outcomes. And don't list human resources that do not match the outcomes you aim to achieve. Okay, so we have to provide the available resources only. We should not give the unavailable resources in our things. And even in editing and the layout area, so we have to pay attention to the language. It should be simple language, and future tenses is preferable. And be conscious and logical. Avoid spelling mistakes. Find a catchy title. That these are all the editing and layout area. And regarding the presentation, while you are presenting the project after submitting the proposal and all, you sometimes you may be invited to present your proposal, or sometimes you may not be invited. They'll evaluate themselves and they'll call for a present. This is happening. And use headers and footers for your presentation. Use clear titles and paragraphs. If you are using presentation, you go for a this kind of standard layout, and the background should be in your presentation should be same from the first slide to the last slide. And even it is better go for a simple animation, not a different animations, because these animations will distract the audience, will distract the evaluators. So go for a simple animation in your presentation. Be simple, then your project will be approved. Use clear titles and paragraphs. You break the monotony. Add some table of contents, quick references. So it may not, your presentation may not confuse the evaluators. It should clear. It should be very clear. Okay. Print, if you are printing, print on standard format papers. So these are all the things should be kept in mind while we are preparing a proposal. And remember, your proposal is often the only way for the funding agencies to choose or reject your project. So write a proposal only when your project idea is already well thought out. So fit to the funding agency's guidelines. So thank you. So with this, I would like to conclude this session. It is over to Dr. Rajeshwari ma'am for further things. Ma'am?
Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Audible, sir?
Yeah, audible, ma'am.
Yes, okay. First and foremost, I thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor for allowing and motivating us to do this program. I also thank respected registrar and program convener for supporting me to execute this program. I thank the Dean of Faculty for his constant support. Next, I sincerely thank our resource person, Dr. P. Muthupadi sir, for giving an excellent lecture to the topic of writing effective project proposals. We are all inspired by your great words, sir. I sincerely thank all the participants for attending this program. Once again, thank you one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any If there is any clarification or queries or a suggestion, or you are welcome to share with us.
Participants, if any doubt, share with us.
So there is a saying that if there is no doubt, there is two meanings. One is everything is clear and nothing is so nothing is understand. So there are two things. So I don't know where you are.
Sir, it will be helpful to us if you share the PowerPoint.
Yeah, we will share it. We will share it. No problem. We will share it.
Thank you, sir. Actually, it takes some time to start, but
Yeah.
once it started, it was very interesting, very short and sweet. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
very
ma'am.
much.
Shall I wind up the session, or is there anything else, ma'am?
Sir, register, sir. Source audible.
Still,
Audio is
sir,
not
sir,
clear,
your mic is in mute condition. But I'll pin Registra's video. Sir, your microphone is still in mute condition. If you unmute your microphone, it will be a nice. It will be good, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, all participants. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, now you are audible, sir. Register, sir. Sir, register, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir, for your nice presentation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the great opportunity given to me, sir, to share a few things with the audience, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We are
Okay.
continuously seeking your help for the welfare of the students.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. I'll do it, sir. I'll do it, sir. It is a learning,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
It is a learning for me.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Madam, சொல்லுங்க ma'am.
Sir, I am Mrs. Nirmala, sir, from Bishop Newbegian College of Education. Your presentation is very,
Yeah, ma'am.
very
Welcome.
good, sir. I understood everything. Already I completed my
Okay.
job answer, sir. Currently, I am working
Yes,
in
ma'am.
Financial College, but I will
Okay, ma'am.
develop our like projects, sir. I will be started projects in Financial College. So, what are the steps we have to take? Kindly tell me, sir.
For pardon, ma'am. I'm not clear with your statement.
No, sir. I'm working in Financial College. We want to.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We want to do the research in future, sir. For the project, will be started, or what are the steps we have to take?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Even in self-financing institution also, we can apply for the project. This is not a
What are the
demerit.
Yeah.
Even from self-financing college also, we can approach the funding agencies. Like if our project is very innovative, very need-based, or if the project is innovative, definitely they'll sanction the amount. Like there are some government agencies may not focus on that. some like Azim Premji Foundation, like institutions are offering funds only for the quality of the project, not for the from the institution.
Sir, for example, in our institution,
Okay.
4 or 5 members completed the doctorate, sir. So
Okay,
based
ma'am.
on our research work, we have to apply for the project. For the
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And based on our project, our PhD work, doesn't mean that. So we have to go with the objective of the particular funding agency.
Okay.
We have to go along with the need of the funding agency or the domains of the funding agency. See, my focus, my specialization may be in technology, but some particular agency may focus on psychological aspects.
Yeah.
In such case, we have to go only in the psychological aspects, not in the technological
we have
aspects.
to plan for which core or which pedagogy are related to computer. I mean, in the disciplinary, we have to apply at least. First of all, we have to choose. Then
See, if you go to the websites like ICSSR or ICPR or Azimji Foundation or New India Foundation, you see they'll every month or every often they'll used to invite applications from the researchers. So that time they'll mention their objective or what we call that core area, like policy designing or teaching competency, like that they'll mention the domains. So we have to fit our project in their domain, their intention, their domains of
we should know their intention.
Yes.
Based
Yeah.
on that, we have to write it and send it.
Yes, ma'am. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.